What if everything you've ever been taught about our planet was wrong and Earth wasn't a globe at all, but a giant cosmic pancake floating in space? Imagine how differently the sky would look, how gravity would feel, and how technology we rely on every day would suddenly stop making sense. In this video, we're diving into the wild, mind-bending consequences of a truly flat Earth. We'll explore what would happen to gravity, how the sun and stars would behave, and why our modern world would break instantly. Get ready because the real science behind this, what if, is far stranger than the idea itself. Let's start with the force that keeps your feet on the ground, gravity. On our real spherical Earth, gravity pulls everything toward the planet's center, creating a consistent sense of down everywhere. But on a flat Earth, gravity simply couldn't behave that way. Instead, it would pull toward the center of the disk, creating a sideways tug the farther you walked from the middle. That means buildings near the rim would lean inward, oceans would pile up toward the center like a giant water mound, and even air pressure would shift dramatically across the surface. Imagine standing near the edge of the world. Your body would feel slightly tilted, and dropped objects wouldn't fall straight down, but at a subtle inward angle. Engineers would never be able to construct long bridges or tunnels because measurements would constantly drift. Even walking long distances would feel off balance. And here's the strangest part. To keep Earth flat and still have consistent downward gravity, we'd need an entirely new law of physics, one that no experiment has ever detected. Gravity works the same from Peru to Japan because Earth curves underneath us. Flatten it out, and the entire physical system collapses. This leads straight into another massive problem, the sky itself. If Earth were a flat disk, the sky would instantly expose the illusion. On a flat world, the sun would hover somewhere above the surface like a spotlight, moving in circular patterns. But that model breaks down the second you look at real-world observations. For instance, time zones exist because different parts of a curved Earth rotate into and out of sunlight, yet on a flat Earth, distant locations would still see the sun even at weird angles. True sunsets wouldn't happen. The sun would never drop below a horizon. It would just shrink into the distance like a fading lamp. Then there's the stars. Travel to the southern hemisphere, and you'll notice something amazing. Entire constellations vanish from northern skies, and new ones appear. A flat Earth can't reproduce these different star fields, because it would require the sky to physically split, depending on where you stand, something we've never observed. And don't forget seasons. Opposite seasons in north and south require a tilted spherical Earth orbiting the sun. On a flat Earth, half the planet couldn't experience winter while the other half has summer unless the sun teleported, changed height, or bent light in impossible ways. And that's before we even touch modern technology. If the Earth were flat, your smartphone would be the first to notice. GPS, which depends on satellites orbiting a curved Earth, simply wouldn't function. Those satellites rely on predictable, measurable orbits that work only around a spherical planet. If Earth were flat, their paths would be chaotic or impossible altogether. Navigation apps, aviation routes, shipping lanes, and even emergency systems would collapse within hours. Long-distance flights also provide real-world proof of Earth's shape. Aircraft follow great circle routes, the shortest paths across a sphere, which appear curved on a flat map, but perfectly logical in 3D. Airlines plan fuel and timing based on this geometry every day. A flat Earth would produce flight times that simply don't match reality. Even undersea internet cables follow distances predicted by spherical calculations. Engineers measured those paths with lasers, sonar, and satellites across decades, and the numbers all align. Nothing stretches, shrinks, or warps the way a flat surface would require. In astronomy, telescopes track planets, the moon, and satellites using orbital math that matches a spherical Earth perfectly. If Earth were flat, astronomers would constantly see mismatches in timing and position. Instead, everything lines up with astonishing accuracy. Which brings us to the final point. So what if Earth were flat? Gravity would tilt sideways, the sky would contradict itself, and modern technology from GPS to aviation would fail instantly. Nothing about our daily experience, from sunsets to star patterns to how our phones navigate the world, works on a flat model. The real world behaves exactly like we live on a sphere, and the evidence meets us everywhere we look. Exploring what-if scenarios is fun, but following the science is what reveals the true wonder of our planet. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit like, share it with a curious friend, and subscribe for more mind-bending explorations.